Mohamed Salah agrees a new 2-year deal after leaving Liverpool. Bradley Barcola's move suffers another major twist. Liverpool IPSG wonderkid Ibrahim Mbaye. Trent Alexander-Arnold's return claim shocks fans. Liverpool prepare a Barcola backup plan. Iraola faces his first Victor Munoz dilemma. Let's jump into the details. Mohamed Salah agrees 2-year deal with new club after emotional Liverpool exit. Mohamed Salah is in talks with Trabzonspor ahead of signing a 2-year deal with the Turkish side as the ex-Liverpool man finally looks to settle on a new club. Mohamed Salah has agreed to join Turkish side Trabzonspor and will pen a 2-year deal according to reports. The Egyptian and Liverpool chose to go their separate ways at the end of last season, bringing the curtain down on 9 incredible years at Anfield, and Salah has since been eyeing up where to spend the latter years of his career. Despite Saudi Arabia long being seen as an option, clubs in Turkey have pushed hard for his signature. It originally looked as if Besiktas were leading the queue to sign Salah, but they came out and claimed that they wouldn't bend their wage structure to sign the winger. Since then, Trabzonspor have confirmed that they were in negotiations with the Salah as they put out a statement on social media. They stated, "Professional footballer Mohamed Salah, with whom we have begun transfer negotiations, will be at Istanbul Ataturk Airport General Aviation Terminal at 12 o'clock on Wednesday, August 5th. The player is scheduled to arrive in Trabzon on the same day in the evening hours. The time and other details regarding the welcome program in Trabzon will be shared with the public through our club's official communication channels during the day." A move to Trabzonspor would see Salah team up with Manchester United's Andre Onana, who is headed back to the club on loan for a second season. Former Manchester City defender Stefan Savic is another ex-Premier League player to be plying his trade at the Super League side. Trabzonspor finished third last season, 8 points off top spot, and have secured themselves a spot in next season's Europa League. They last won the Turkish title in 2022. Salah will hope to rediscover his goal-scoring touch-if, and when he does run out from Trabzon, who play in northeast Turkey. Last year was the Egyptian's worst goal return since he moved to England. He scored just 12 times and was eventually dropped by Arne Slot. That led to a public spat between the player and his former boss, and Salah's Liverpool exit ultimately came ahead of time with the two parties choosing to go their separate ways 12 months earlier than planned. He left Merseyside having scored 257 goals and provided 120 assists in 442 games. Liverpool news. Bradley Barcola offer delay explained as PSG clear way with medical booked. Things could be about to hot up for Liverpool in the transfer market as the push to sign PSG ace Bradley Barcola continues. Liverpool's summer transfer business has been unusually subdued so far, but that may not be the case for much longer. While their Premier League rivals have spent freely, the Reds are still waiting to truly ignite the market, with the rest of the traditional Big Six already splashing more than £800 million on new signings. That cautious approach has raised eyebrows, particularly following the arrival of new head coach Andoni Iraola. The Spaniard has added just 2 players to his squad to date. Victor Munoz, who joined from Osasuna in a £34.5 million deal, and Jeremy Jacquet, whose £55 million move from Rennes was agreed back in February. However, Liverpool are expected to accelerate their recruitment before the window closes, with 1 or 2 marquee additions, particularly in attack, firmly on the agenda. With that in mind, here's a roundup of the latest transfer news from Anfield. Barcola bid delay explained. Liverpool have identified PSG winger Bradley Barcola as their top transfer target as they search for the long-term successor to Mohamed Salah. Official talks between clubs are understood to be underway, but the Reds have yet to submit a formal offer for the France international. According to Sky Sports, that is a deliberate strategy. Liverpool want to establish what PSG would realistically accept before making their opening move, rather than launching a bid that is immediately rejected and risks negotiations becoming public. The French champions are thought to value Barcola at around £145 million, while Liverpool hope a deal can be struck closer to the £100 million mark, leaving a sizable gap between the two clubs' valuations. PSG clearing way for Barcola exit. Liverpool and PSG may still be some distance apart on valuation, but there are growing signs of French champions are planning for a future without Barcola. According to reports, PSG have agreed a deal to sign Monaco star Magnus Iraola, the versatile attacker who can operate as an attacking midfielder or out wide, is expected to undergo a medical ahead of £42.8 million move to the Parc des Princes. The League One giants are also closing in on Ajax winger Mika Götze, with reports suggesting a deal worth around £50 million is nearing completion. Should both arrivals be finalized, it would further fuel speculation that PSG are preparing to cash in on Barcola. The 23-year-old produced 34 goals and 28 assists across the past 2 seasons at club level, despite fierce competition for places from Ousmane Dembélé, Krejci Kvaratskhelia, and Desire Doué. Barcola is understood to be keen on a move to Anfield, where he will be offered a more central role in Liverpool's attack, and the prospect of regular first-team football. Who is Ibrahim Mbaye? Liverpool could swoop for second PSG transfer alongside Bradley Barcola. Liverpool is being linked with a second PSG transfer swoop alongside Bradley Barcola, with the Reds looking at $58M, rated 18-year-old winger Ibrahim Mbaye, who played for Senegal at the World Cup. Ibrahim Mbaye is of interest to Liverpool alongside his PSG teammate, Bradley Barcola, according to reports in France. But who exactly is the 18-year-old winger? It was initially reported by Fabrice Hawkins that Liverpool was keen on the teen, who scored 3 times and assisted twice for PSG last term. He played just over 1,000 club minutes in all competitions in 2025-26, mainly coming off the bench. Like Barcola, he is fast and direct with his dribbling, with a keen eye for goal. Mbaye is another who would like a clearer route to senior minutes that he perhaps can't get where he currently plays. Given that Liverpool is lacking depth out wide even after the arrival of Victor Munoz, it seems to make sense, in addition to interest in Barcola and Mbaye. Cody Gakpo has been strongly linked with Tottenham, but losing another forward as things stand would be impossible. Should Barcola and Mbaye arrive, however, that could change. That would leave the Reds with those 2 plus Munoz and Rio Nguma out wide. Like Nguma, Mbaye is a strong dribbler and very pacey. His acceleration often allows him to beat his marker and get enough space to get a cross or a shot away. Usually operating on the right, he is left-footed and comes inside, but crucially for an Andoni Iraola winger, it seems, he can also play on the left and go on the outside. Said to be keen to join Liverpool, Mbaye is supposedly valued at around $58 million, £43 million, by PSG. Bayer Leverkusen has already held talks to sign the player, while RB Leipzig was keen as part of the deal that would have seen Yendayo Man head to Paris, only for Real Madrid to steal in ahead of Luis Enrique's side for that deal. During the summer, Mbaye played at the World Cup for Senegal. He scored against France, becoming the youngest African to net at the competition. He will turn 19 midway through next season and would appear likely to be on the move somewhere this summer, whether that is to Liverpool, the Bundesliga, or somewhere else. Liverpool.com says, adding more pace and quality in wide areas remains a priority for the Reds this summer. Barcola would be a great signing, but Mbaye appears to be a top talent too. Iraola cannot be left without sufficient numbers in forward areas, with Alexander Isak the only fit number 9. Mbaye would add volume in a crucial area without sacrificing quality. Trent Alexander-Arnold agreement reached on sensational Liverpool return, 100%. Calls are growing for a reunion between Liverpool and Trent Alexander-Arnold, with the Reds' former vice-captain coming under pressure at Real Madrid after a difficult first year. Liverpool has received another call urging it to sensationally re-sign Trent Alexander-Arnold this summer. The Reds' former vice-captain, of course, made the switch to Real Madrid last summer in what was an unpopular move among the fans of his boyhood club. Since then, both he and Liverpool have not had the best of times. Alexander-Arnold's first year at the Bernabeu didn't quite go according to plan, with injury issues limiting him to 30 appearances across all competitions, including just 14 starts in La Liga. His misery was compounded when he was overlooked by Thomas Tuchel for England's squad at the World Cup. To make matters worse, speculation has grown over his future in Madrid following Jose Mourinho's appointment as manager, with Denzel Dumfries having been signed from Inter Milan as competition for him at right back. It hasn't been going too well for his former club either, though, And with Liverpool already looking as though it will be short of options at right back for the new season, the Reds have been urged to make the surprise decision to bring Alexander-Arnold back to Anfield. Former Chelsea and Aston Villa star Andy Townsend is the latest call for the sensational transfer, telling TalkSport. First and foremost, purely as a player, if he came back to Liverpool, would he improve them? 100%. Yes. Jeremy, Frimpong one as a right back, I've not really got. It's so important nowadays with these full-backs being such an important part of a team's attacking intentions. If you can't deliver anything half decent when you get into a good area, and from what I've seen of him so far, I've not really seen that final delivery, which Trent can do in his sleep. So, I think he absolutely would improve them. The question is how the club would feel about it. That's going to be a difficult pill probably for some Liverpool fans to swallow. Townsend added, he doesn't need another season like he had last time. That would have been a big disappointment to him. Secretly, he would have been a little hurt that it never happened. He never really got going and had a few injury issues. I think Liverpool should, if they can get any deal done for him on a loan basis for a season, whatever those fees are now, up to £10 million for a season, I wouldn't turn your nose up at that to get that boy back through the door. He is top drawer. Townsend's comments come after Liverpool was told to cut its losses and make a move for its former vice-captain, even if it risked backlash from the club supporters. TalkSport host Angelina Kelly claimed, I know what it's like for a player to, in your opinion, betray the club, especially one of your own, especially being a Liverpudlian. I get it. When Real Madrid come calling, it is hard to say no. We have to be honest with that. And he's made the move, and it hasn't really worked out. And you look at Liverpool, and you think, do they need a new right back? I mean, Frimpong didn't look great last season. I think he's probably better playing further forward. Connor, Bradley injured. I think maybe they should cut their losses and just explore the Trent situation. I'm not saying you got to sign him immediately. Let's just explore this, because Real Madrid have signed another right back in Denzel Dumfries. That is not good news for Trent. So, why can't everyone just take some ownership, take a bit of accountability, and we can all come back together and be happy? Liverpool transfer news as Bradley Barcola deal never happening in Plan B drawn up. Liverpool transfer news as the Reds are told a deal for Bradley Barcola will never happen, while an immediate alternative to the Paris Saint-Germain star has been identified. Liverpool fans are getting understandably anxious about the lack of signings being made by the club as the new season draws into view. We are now just 2.5 weeks away from the start of the 2026-27 Premier League season, and still the only new additions made to the Red squad are Jeremy Jacquet and Victor Munoz, both of whom are yet to play a single minute for their new club in preseason. And the injury situation is not getting any better, leaving supporters more than a little worried about the state of the squad as one potential transfer continues to dominate the headlines. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. Bradley Barcola, PSG. Liverpool has been told Paris Saint-Germain would never let Bradley Barcola leave the club, despite the Reds' ongoing interest in the winger. Barcola already looks to have given the green light for an exit from the European champions after deciding against signing a new contract, with 2 years remaining on his current deal. Liverpool has reportedly opened talks with PSG as it looks to talk his current club down on its huge valuation. Former France international Claude Makelele, though, believes the Reds may be wasting their time, having told Come On. For me, the only player who could come to Liverpool and replace Mohamed Salah would be Bradley Barcola, because he's so young and very fast, and has that same speed and promise that Salah provided to Liverpool. Liverpool.com says, the big problem for Liverpool is not necessarily that PSG would never sell Barcola, but more that it'll likely demand huge money for him. Luis Enrique has built a successful and cohesive unit, and he won't want a player in his squad who doesn't want to be there. At the same time, though, his quality is undoubted, and it would only take one injury for him to be back in the running in Paris. So he clearly still holds a lot of worth for his current club. It's not going to be an easy deal for Liverpool to get done. Ryan, Bournemouth. Liverpool has identified Bournemouth's Ryan as its Plan B should it fail in its attempts to sign Barcola, according to Caught Offside. The 20-year-old has, of course, already played under new Reds boss Andoni Iraola, and has been linked with a move to Anfield this summer. Liverpool has other players lined up as possible alternatives, including Brighton's Yankuba Minte and Lille's Matias Fernandez-Pardo, with the club needing to keep its options open as PSG is claimed to be seeking up to $195 million, £145 million, for Barcola. Liverpool.com says, Ryan looks to have a bright future, having already played at the World Cup for Brazil and integrated well into Premier League after his move to Bournemouth in January. Much like Barcola, though, he would likely cost Liverpool a huge amount. And with other areas of the squad needing to be addressed, the Reds will have to weigh up whether he will be as good as the early stages of his career suggest he might be. Andoni Iraola already has a Victor Munoz problem he must fix at Liverpool. Liverpool boss Andoni Iraola has some key improvements to make within the team, with Victor Munoz among those who will need to progress under the head coach. Andoni Iraola will have several key tasks on his desk heading into the new season, as he looks to take Liverpool to the next level in all competitions. Following a disappointing campaign last time out, the Reds are hoping to take on a new era with new energy, looking at the long-term success of the club moving forward. Iraola will be judged on his results, of course, but there are other key areas of his toolkit that made him the ideal fit for Liverpool in replacing Arne Slot this summer. The manager's pragmatism is noteworthy, constantly improving with a Bournemouth side that was losing players in the transfer market and yet seemingly bouncing back at each available opportunity. That came with the improvement of the players at his disposal. It's a trait that could see academy stars such as Rio Ngumaha and Trey Nyoni hit new heights as they look to progress into the senior setup to make an impact on a regular basis. The manager could also make the most out of the other options at his disposal, whether that is big money signings like Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, or experienced stars such as Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker. Then there's the case of Victor Munoz. The winger joined Liverpool from Osasuna this summer, after the club hijacked Newcastle's deal to trigger his release clause and get a deal over the line. A versatile option. The 23-year-old enjoyed a breakout campaign in La Liga last time out and showed a mixture of pace and quality to bring about interest from a Premier League. Now Liverpool has pounced. The plan will be to get the most out of Munoz as a depth option, but also as someone who can continue to grow into the role of a regular first-team contributor. That will come with the need to improve some key areas, as he is far from the finished article. Perhaps the most notable area is his finishing, as the Spaniard was wasteful in his time with Osasuna. Munoz appeared as the second most wasteful with his chance conversion last season, as per Who Scored, with players that took over 80 shots in Europe's top 5 leagues. The youngster scored 7.4% of his shot, finishing 6 chances from 81 total strikes at goal, with only Mathis Aebline coming in with a worse rate. Incidentally, Liverpool's Cody Gakpo is not far behind with 8%, scoring 7 goals from 87 total shots. It's an area that Iraola must work on to keep the team from being wasteful in front of goal. If he can improve those areas, suddenly Munoz will be a player who carries a larger threat for the opposition, and that will come with greater importance to the team moving forward. There may ultimately be other areas to improve as well. However, that is part of giving these younger players a chance to develop into key stars in the long term. It's a task that Iraola will have understood when taking on the position, with Liverpool needing to develop into a super team from the ground up again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's Liverpool update, make sure to like, subscribe to Red Transfer Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest transfer news. Let us know in the comments which story surprised you the most. See you in the next update.